Coming up next, we have a meatless soup that is a wonder, even in our part of the region, plus an awesome dessert to go with it. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And for soup, there's any soup that's good, but clam chowder is one of my favorites.
It's going to be very good.
And we don't have to just take it all from a can.
No, we don't. We're going to make it from scratch.
All right.
So we know it's going to be good.
All right. And then we got some awesome pumpkin bars submitted by a resident here of Dickinson, Martha Hoppinger.
Yes.
And I hear raves about these, so I can't wait to try these as well.
Right. Yes. Her daughter Denise works at Ivor Concepts with me, and every once in a while Martha will bring in a pan of bars and treat the office, and they're gone. And so you're going to enjoy these, so we're going to just share it with everybody.
Sounds great.
Okay, and they're very simple. We're going to start with 4 eggs.
Okay.
And we'll just crack them in here, just double check. And then it takes a cup of oil. And there's not a lot of mixing that you have to do, like creaming, if you're using shortening or butter, whatever, because we're using eggs and oil. It doesn't take long, just to blend that.
Right.
Because you don't have to cream that together like, you would, like I said, margarine or butter or whatever. So there we go.
Quick and easy, that's what we like.
Absolutely. So we'll just put that on a little bit. Now get myself a cup of oil here. And just any vegetable oil will be just fine. And so I'll put that in with the eggs. In fact, I'm going to add my 2 cups of sugar right away, just to blend that with the oil and the eggs.
Okay.
So that was 2 cups sugar. And we'll just mix that.
I think the best thing and it's just the frosting on it per se, but pumpkin bars, carrot cake, anything like that, the frosting makes that cake. And
it's a homemade cream cheese frosting. That's the only way to go.
Can't beat that.
No, you can't. So we have the oil, eggs, sugar in there. So now I'm going to add the can of pumpkin and get that blended before we add the dry ingredients.
Okay.
So just any can of pumpkin, and it's a 15-ounce can. So.
And pumpkin's very good for you.
It is. It is.
For those people that are ambitious to take their own pumpkins and make pumpkin desserts out of it.
Yeah. I do a lot of things, but cutting up pumpkin isn't one of them. It just,
Carving jack-o'-lanterns I can do.
Yeah. Well, that's a must when it comes to the grandkids and the kids, you need to do that. So, and I'm going to have you spray that pan for me. So we're just going to get this blended. And I'll just get that scraped a little bit here. And we're starting with the dessert first because we want to get this in the oven and get that bacon while we make the soup.
Sure.
Now we add 2 cups of flour.
Okay.
And it's 2 cups of I think we better back up. We don't want 2 cups of baking soda. I don't think it's going to turn out. 2 teaspoons of the baking soda.
Okay.
And 2 teaspoons of a baking powder.
Okay.
And then 2 generous teaspoons of cinnamon. We like cinnamon really well, so I always, like to be a little generous with that. So
okay.
That's all it is. So now we're going to blend that.
Simple recipe.
It is. And you got the sides sprayed well? And
sure. Let's just make sure.
We'll just make sure. Okay. We want that all together. Okay, and again, I'm just going to scrape the sides of that a little bit. I saw a new KitchenAid mixer advertised on TV the other day that has beaters that has kind of a rubber on them and that scrapes the bowl and
Oh,
everything.
well,
So-
that's the ticket.
So I think that might be on my list for something new to get, new
Well, of
gadget to get.
course.
Yeah, really.
How far did the scrapers go out?
It catches the whole inside of the bowl.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So when they showed it and they had their dough or mix in there, I mean, it was scraped right down to the
Perfect.
edge of the the side of the bowl. You never had to scrape. They always come up with something new that you have to keep upgrading or buying or something.
Well, of course.
So now we're gonna just pour that in, and you want we've got a jelly roll size pan here. This is bigger than a 9 by 13.
Okay.
So your cookie sheet size pan is what you want. So if your family likes walnuts or raisins or something, that's good in here too.
Sure,
you can
those are
add-
definitely optional items.
Yeah, anything that you like. And sometimes too, even taking walnuts after you've got it frosted on top,
Sure.
because everybody doesn't like the nuts or whatever. So I've done where I've frosted half and put half walnuts and half not and stuff. So okay, now we're just going to put that in the oven, and I believe it says we're going to start at 20 minutes.
Okay, and we did preheat the oven
Or-
to 350 degrees.
Right, 350. And when I say 20 minutes, I think I just took a quick peek at the recipe. It says 25.
Okay.
So we're going to start at 25, and then you can check if you need any more from there. So
Sure.
we'll set that right there. So now we can start right over here with our clam chowder.
Okay.
We're going to put our burner on here. And you want to start with a nice sized kettle, and that so that you don't have it run over. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, put that in there and just get that heated up and just get that melted, and then we're going to saute our onions in here.
Okay. Now this is a recipe that you found out of one of our local church cookbooks here in Dickinson, isn't it?
Yes, I did. And going through, some of those cookbooks, because most of their hometown, local people, and, most of them are just excellent recipes. So,
Well, and when you know the people and you know that they're good cooks, you've had their cooking before, it's not hard to say, oh, I'm going to try that. That looks good.
Absolutely, yeah. And like I said, when you know that they're local people, your nationality or kind of your general tastes are a lot alike when you're from the same. You're all German or Bohemian or a little bit of
Russian or
Yeah.
whatever
that's
from the
right.
old country.
Okay, so it says a medium chopped onion, or it says just a chopped onion. So
Okay.
when you chop an onion, it can look like not a fairly, just a medium onion, but by the time it's chopped, it's quite a bit.
It is.
And so like I said, we want to just get that sauteed, the onions for just a little bit.
Okay, we'll just give that a few minutes.
And there's different version of the clam chowder. I like the England clam chowder, that's the creamy one. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure what the other one is called. It's more like a tomatoey look or whatever, more of a broth. I don't like that one as well. And
I guess I'm just more familiar with the cream styled one.
yeah, there's 2 different ones.
Okay.
But, well, when you talk about creamy and cream, it's going to be good.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my burner's just getting nice and hot here now, so that's just going to saute for just a little bit. Okay, so now we've got our onions sauteed nicely here, so we're going to add a cup of celery,
Okay.
chopped celery, of course, and a cup of chopped carrots, And it also says a cup of potatoes, chopped potatoes.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave them for a little, not add them right away, because potatoes don't take as long to soften as your carrots and your celery, and I don't want them to get real mushy like and
Right.
stuff. So, and then we add a quart of water. And then we're going to just get this cooking until the vegetables are a little bit, starting to get tender.
Okay.
And so it doesn't really take that long for that. And I just turn up my burner a little bit here. And I have my water kind of, hot, so it wouldn't take so long. So we're going to just let that go probably about 10 minutes, bring that to a boil, and then I'll add the potatoes, and then once the vegetables are soft.
And there's no other seasonings that we put in there other
Nope.
than we saute the onions and butter, add our vegetables.
That's right. And the clams, we're going to use, clams, and you use the juice or the broth that's in the can.
Okay, so that's a little bit salty there.
It is. So you don't want to add extra salt
Okay.
or whatever. So, okay. So now we just
simmer.
need to wait to let that simmer and our pumpkin bars to get done, and then we can proceed.
Sounds great.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to add the potatoes. The carrots and celery are getting a little bit tender and stuff, so that we can add the potatoes. And like I said, I just got them cubed there too.
Okay.
And I started with 3 just medium potatoes, and it had ended up to be a little bit more than a cup. Well,
No.
I'm not going to throw them away. You're just going to add them in there. And that, because you never quite know when you're cutting how much how many potatoes it's going to take to
Right.
make an exact cup. So we just don't waste. So we put that in there. We're going to let that come to a boil and simmer for a little bit till they get tender. And then we'll add the rest of our ingredients. And it is so easy to make.
Well, yeah, you can't get much easier than that.
No, you can't. Except when somebody else makes it and brings it over.
Well, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, the buzzer is going off for our pumpkin bars. So
Okay.
let's see how those are.
Oh, they
Oh.
look perfect.
We'll just touch the center, and that is done. So we are going to take those out. So you can see it makes a big
Did you want
handful.
on
We'll
here?
just set it on here.
Okay.
And that, yes.
That's got to take a little bit to cool.
Okay. And we can turn off the oven. We won't be needing that. And what I did prior was I already made the frosting. I beat it up. We used half a stick of margarine.
Okay.
Or I should say half of a stick. So
A fourth cup.
Be a 4th cup of margarine, and 8-ounce package of cream cheese. And you want to whip that well. And then add 4 cups of powdered sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla, and whip that well. And then that's your homemade cream cheese frosting.
Okay.
And it's amazing how much difference that tastes compared to buying a can of cream cheese frosting. So now let's come on over here and see how the vegetables are coming. I think they're starting to get pretty soft, but let's just kind of check them. Okay, the potatoes are just about done. I would say we should give them about 5 more minutes before we add the other ingredients.
Okay.
So we'll just let that set there, and we'll let the pumpkin bars cool
off a little bit.
before
Sure.
we can frost them. And you can frost when it's kind of warm. What's nice too, I like frosting when it's warm. The frosting, spreads nice and is so easy.
Right.
Or whatever. So we will just wait a few more minutes, and then we'll be able to finish up.
Sounds great.
Okay, I think the vegetables are, nice and tender.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to add 3 cans of clams.
Okay.
And you're going to add the juice also.
So whole baby clams.
Yes, the whole baby clams. And you're not going to drain them. And talking before there's no extra salt or anything that we're adding. And the reason you're not, because your clams are salty.
Right.
So you don't want to get it too salty. So we add there. And no particular brand or whatever, you can just
Whatever's
just
there.
That's right, whatever you can find in your local store. And then we're going to add 2 cups of milk.
Okay.
And we talked about our creamy England clam chowder, and we come up with the other one. It's the Manhattan cream chowder.
Okay, yep.
So then it says a cup of cream or half and half. And I do have cream here, so
Okay.
we're going to do that and get that mixed. And then we just want to bring that to a boil. And in the meantime, I've got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch here.
Okay.
And we're going to add just a little bit of water in here to,
Thicken that up a little bit.
thicken that, because you don't want to pour the cornstarch just in like this.
No, you'll
It's
get
going-
lumps.
You're gonna, yes, that's it. Even you know that.
Even
Rhonda.
I know that, not the big cooker that I am, but I like the cornstarch gravy that you've always made for when you make roasts or.
Yes. I've always used cornstarch versus flour. I don't know why that's always been a preference, but then, I remember growing up, Grandma always used cornstarch most often. And if you have, but cornstarch is a lot easier to liquefy than flour.
Right.
You have to shake that and do that a little bit more than you with cornstarch. So, but
Not as lumpy.
that's right. So if all else fails, you don't have cornstarch, you can use flour. So we just want to bring this to a boil here, and then we'll add the thickening. In fact, we don't really even have to wait till this comes to a boil to add the thickening. We can do that anytime.
Okay.
And that, so we're going to just add that. And just stir that.
Well, the carrots do definitely add color to this. I don't know that I've had a recipe or I've had clam chowder with carrots before, but I love carrots, so it's going to be a good soup.
Absolutely. And you have, your 3 main ingredients when it comes to soups and stuff is your onions, celery, and carrots.
Yep.
And of course potatoes too, but those are the, for onion first. That's just always adds excellent flavor to any dish.
And this makes a big recipe.
It is, because you start with a quart of water, and then you got 2 cups of milk and a cup of cream, and then when you consider your clams and the juice in that, you're going to have quite a bit.
It is.
Yes, it is. So while that's just going to come to a boil, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. We can go over and frost our pumpkin bars.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cooling off a little bit. Still pretty warm.
Oh, yeah, it is a little bit there, but not too bad. In fact, I'm just going to bring that over here and be easier just to, frost. Just mix.
And the recipe for the frosting, actually, it's a big recipe. You get a nice thick layer of frosting.
You sure can. Sometimes, depending upon what I'm doing, sometimes when I make banana bars or whatever, and I make this frosting, I'll just go ahead and, maybe make just a little bit bigger batch, because you can freeze it, and then you don't have to whip that up again when you want.
Right.
Another one, just take it out of the freezer. So we'll just spread that over here. And like I said, when the bars are just a little bit warm, if your frosting seems to be just a little bit on the stiffer side, it's going to just make it spread so easily.
Just like melted butter.
Yeah. And if you want to put a little bit more frosting there, we can do that. In fact, I think we should be able, we'll just use all that up here. So I'll give you a spatula to scrape that. Now we need to, if we had little Addison here, your daughter, we wouldn't scrape that. We would just
Oh
give
no,
it to
she would
her.
lick it.
She would want to lick that bowl clean.
She loves fruit dip, and just the easiest fruit dip, taking a little jar of marshmallow cream and cream cheese and whipping that together.
is.
It makes a very good fruit dip, and that's the way we get her to eat some fruit.
Yep. And that's just fine. So you can see it, we've got a nice amount of frosting, but it isn't, I don't think, overly. Well, what are fingers for?
That's
Don't
right.
do that. Okay. So I'm going to just come over here and just check how the soup is coming. Stir that up a little bit. And that shouldn't take too much longer before that comes to a boil. There. And we're
Okay.
just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut some bars here. And I'm going to just use my little handy spatula here and then I can just bring them out right away.
And again, you could add raisins as something like this. If your family likes raisins, top it with some nuts. There's a lot of different variations that you could do with this.
Yes. And that's one thing nice, you know, even if, you know, some people do like those ingredients, you can, you know, pour some of the batter in the pan and then only add like nuts or raisins on the other half and just please everybody.
Sure. Just make sure you know which side you put those in, though.
Well, I think you'll attest if you find a raisin, you're going to know it. 'Cause
That's right.
This is one that does not like raisins. So
I like them better as grapes.
yeah. So we're going to put that out there, and we should be about ready to check our soup. And that over here. So it looks like it's starting to just about come to a boil. And one thing too, soup, you know, thickens more so too, you know, when you have it in the fridge and you want to use it, you know, have some leftovers, it will always thicken. You might think, oh, that looks awfully thin, but it's going to thicken. And
Especially, you know, we got the potatoes in there and that cornstarch. That will definitely thicken.
yes, it's going to bring that a little bit thicker. And I've always been more of a favorite of having not so thick of soup, or even chili. I like it thinner than, you know, having it a real thick, like more like a stew. I just wanted to make sure, kind of watch this, because I do have the burner up a little bit higher, and because I have the milk and cream in there, I don't want that to scorch.
Right.
So we're going to be able to bring that out. And that. So let's just give it a couple of minutes and then we will show you what the soup looks like.
Perfect.
I wish everybody could taste some of it though too.
You'll have people knocking on your door soon.
No, okay.
Zoom here.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready, let me know.
No, ready to go.
Okay. Go.
Okay, that has come to a boil now, and I think we're going to just be able to take that off and bring it over here. And
Oh,
smells
Looks
good.
great too.
Yeah, we'll just put it on here, and we're going to just put some in our bowl here. And it's nice to see the, you know, like you said, the color to it. And we're kind of a big fan of like peppers, so you can add a little pepper on here, or you can add a little bit of, you know, paprika just to give it a little bit of color to
Sure.
it when you're serving that. So, and you know, if you like, you can add a little bit of butter on top of that, or even a little bit of sour cream.
Oh,
So,
perfect.
I think.
There's a lot of different variations that you can do with this, so.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely. Just whatever your taste buds desire, that's what you do.
And again, soup's good any time of the year.
Yeah.
Winter, it's great when it's cold outside, snow on the ground. Perfect time to make it.
Yeah, very
And we'd
nice.
like to thank Martha Coppinger again for these delicious pumpkin bars. Thank you for submitting that recipe for us, Martha. For anybody that would like to submit recipes to us, Just go to www.ctctel.com and we'd love to make them for you. As always, thank you to the workshop for being your sponsor. Have a great night.